It's funny. We lose Terrell and we bring in Picardo. It's seamless, from the same episode. And if you look back on the show, on the franchise as a whole, there is kind of a symmetry there, of going from one great character to another burgeoning great character arc.
You went from one Doctor character to one former Doctor character, exactly. Or an actor who once played a Doctor character. So that's an odd confluence as well. The character, as you said, was designed to be filler material. They wanted to turn the extra 8 or 10 minutes of Heroes into a two-parter, and they decided to turn it into their clip show, because they did about a clip show a season where they mined all of the previous episodes for their best scenes and their best visual effects and whatnot. So I was brought in to do, I think, 12 pages of dialogue, difficult dialogue, in one day, that would tie all the pieces together of these clips and then make another episode.
Actually, that was at the end of season 7. So for Heroes Part 2, you're interrogating the members of SG-1 for what went wrong on the planet. And that was also done in one day of shooting. So for the clip show, the clip show came in later that season.
Oh, it did. So it didn't follow on the heels of Heroes Part 1?
No, the clip show came in later on in the season. It was called Inauguration. So, but for Heroes Part 2, you're in the interrogation room with members of the SGC.
Oh, that's right. So I ended up so that was the second episode. Inauguration was the second episode.
Was your second episode. That's right.
I'm sorry, folks.
No, you're good.
Fails me slightly. I get it now. I had conflated those two. First of all, I never expected to come back. When I did Heroes Part 2, came in and met the whole SG-1 cast there. Everybody across the board were so nice to me, but especially Don Davis, God rest him. And, but the whole cast was so welcoming and so sweet, because it was a huge amount to do. It was a very complicated shot where I'm interrogating all of them and the camera's going around and around. And this is, that would be a much easier thing to do now with motion control photography. But to do it practically without any cuts, each of the cast members had to slip out of that chair quietly and slip back in when the camera was just at the right angle so you didn't see it. However, I'm supposed to be engaging someone sitting in that chair, and on the other side of the camera as it's coming around, people are going like this, right, in and out of chairs, and I have to be very focused and look like I'm constantly talking to one person. It was really hard to do, and one little line muff or whatever would have ruined it. So we got through that whole day. I was flying to England the next day for a personal appearance that I was already contracted for. So I had to get it in one day. Andy Makita directed it. He was great. And it all just went seamlessly. And then Joe Malazzi and Paul Muley took me out to dinner that night, and they decided that they liked me. And they thought, I guess they must have thought, they didn't share this with me, but they thought, oh, what did we do? We painted ourselves in the corner by making this guy such a complete jerk. But we like this actor, and we'd like to have him back. So then every time they had me back, this completely unredeemable hatchet man douchebag that I had introduced in the first episode had this glimmer of a positive quality each returning time. So the way I have described it in the past is he's a complete douchebag, but then he comes back and it's like, oh, he's a douchebag who really believes in civilian oversight of secret military operations. So he has one little quality. This is one good thing about him. And then he was a complete douchebag who really believed in civilian oversight of secret military operations, who really didn't want to be a douchebag anymore. and then the next time he was a complete douchebag who didn't really want to be a douchebag anymore, but he didn't really know how to not be a douchebag anymore. Every time I had this glimmer of a positive quality, then I started having slight comic potential, right? When they did the crossover show, I think it was also called The Swarm. Interesting. We talked about Voyager's The Swarm.
Oh, yeah, with the R-75.
Exactly.
The bugs. Oh, my gosh.
And that was the first time that Richard Woolsey had, a little comic. He ran away from danger faster than anyone else. He was outrunning,
Leading the pack.
Outrunning people half his age to get away from danger. So so he was a douchebag. He was a coward. Nobody liked him. He had no people skills. He had no leadership skills of his own. He simply could criticize yours. And then after a few years, I got a phone call from Joe Malazzi saying, we'd like you to be the new leader of the Atlantis expedition. And I said, well, wait a minute, Joe. I said, I'm very flattered, first of all. I love doing your show. I love working with you guys. But I'm an asshole. I'm a coward. Nobody likes me. Nobody would follow me. I run away from danger. I can't, I have no skills at all to be a leader. He said, don't worry, that's our problem. I said, great, I'll do it.
Yeah. And you had just set up in the season 4 finale that Richard Woolsey had taken over Atlantis in the future, in the future that Shepard was told by a hologram McKay. He had actually gone in and taken it over, and there you are the next season. Well, we're going to make it happen.
I hadn't even thought of that as well. The problem with a show that you don't often deeply grasp what your character is doing as much as the regular fans do is that sometimes it's news to you when people pull stuff out. Because I didn't even realize that. I do know that I had more fun. People say, what do you I can't compare my Star Trek experience to Stargate. It's not fair because Star Trek went on for so many years. I got to do so many cool things as that character and to grow so much. But I can say that just the experience of working on Stargate was so much easier and freer in a way. Star Trek, they protect the franchise very carefully because it's all set in this imaginary future. They're really careful about anything, they don't let you change a comma without permission because they really don't want anything that smacks of the present day in this 300 year in the future
Roddenberry's
reality. And I understand and I respect that, which is why they have kind of mid-Atlantic speech for most of the actors, and they don't use contemporary references from the 20th century and now 21st century would mean nothing in the 24th century. So they're careful with the dialogue. Because Stargate is a science fiction show that was set in this sort of secret present, they can make contemporary references. In any case, it had a much looser feeling. The producers welcomed me ad-libbing. If I said, can I try something different in the next take? They went, oh, go ahead. Whereas on Voyager, that would have been a phone call 3 days before we shot it,
right,
in order to get permission to do an alternate line. So all I'm saying is that it was just a very liberating kind of a feeling on that set versus my previous experience, as much as I loved my previous experience. And also Joe and Paul were just great producers, as Brad Wright, Robert Cooper. They were all so positive toward me. They just treated me like gold. I've never been taken out to more, incredible dinners than I have by Joe Malazzi. I recommend any actor work with him. Yeah, you get more. There are more perks to working with Joe Malazzi than any other producer ever.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.